This video is brought to you by Loot Crate, a monthly subscription service, or just 1 month if you want to try it out, where you get sent some awesome geeky things to you. This month is Lord of the Rings theme, but includes Marvel, Zelda, and Dark Crystal items. But they also have gamer boxes, Star Trek boxes, Marvel boxes, and also lootwear like socks, underwear, and so on. Even if you don't care about those things, support my drinking by using my special link down below and purchasing a fun box of mystery items. I'd like to say that you doing so helps the channel, but again, I'm using the revenue for alcohol and perhaps moderately priced hookers. Maybe the more expensive ones if enough people use the link to buy a Loot Crate. I don't know. This is your Game of Thrones news update, where I share with you what I consider to be the most important Game of Thrones news from about the past 7 days. Warning, there are spoilers in this video for the final season of Game of Thrones, so if you're trying to stay spoiler free, please don't watch. Also, probably don't go in the comment section down below. So first, a young girl has been put in the role of Martha, who will appear in episode 3 or 5, or maybe both. Interestingly, she's been in some good stuff, even Christopher Robin coming soon, and another of George's works, so that's pretty cool. Martha will have a standout role that likely involves whites attacking because those fuckers are everywhere this season. She could be a wildling fleeing from the others, or maybe just a northern girl with some dialogue. Maybe she'll make Lyanna look like a teddy bear, or, you know, they could bro out. She also may be for the northern girl role listed as an 8 to 10-year-old brought up in a family of soldiers and displays dauntlessness and integrity. The role was described as a very nice standout part for a strong-minded young girl with a fighting spirit. So maybe she's just a northern girl who stays in fights while others start to chicken out. She's basically sounding like a Lyanna 2.0. Though I hope her family's super proud of her, since she comes from a family of soldiers and she stays to tough it out. Next, we're going to see the best couple ever in episode 4 when Brienne and Jaime fight side by side once again. I for one rank this as one of my all-time favorite images. To see something like this again would be marvelous. Though I have a feeling this is probably when Brienne dies and Jaime goes into berserker mode. Hopefully after we had a heartwarming moment where Jaime finally knights her. Ooh, or he knights her as she dies in his arms. I just made myself sad. According to a Twitter user named Davey, the Unsullied appear to be using trebuchets in a night shot. Since they are in front of a huge green screen, it is hard to tell where they are. They are on snow, so probably up north, although it is snowing almost everywhere in Westeros at this point. Speculation is they're using the trebuchet to throw items on fire at the whites. Them sieging somewhere doesn't really make sense for the rest of the environment around them. But again, giant green screen, so it could be Moon Boy for all I know. Curiously enough, there's also a video on his Twitter that shows this giant green screen and someone holding a flaming sword. The easy guess is it's Beric fighting the whites. But if we want to go truly tinfoil, and by tinfoil I mean this is totally fucking happening, this is right after Jon thrusts his sword into Sansa's chest and creates Lightbringer. And then he just opens a can of whoop ass on everyone. The green screen area is also likely being used for white ambushes and attacking people out in the snow. We have definitely seen Unsullied, Dothraki, and members of the Night's Watch as the undead, and of course we're getting some more wildling whites. Poor wildlings. They always get the bad end of the stick. Still on that location, GOT-like locations caught a sword fight practice on camera. They all appear to be on the living variety and not moving like the undead, so we'll see some of the living fighting each other in a snowy environment. Also, Tyrion's actor or double may have been spotted at this location. So Tyrion is going out in the thick of it again, which seems like a good way to die, but I guess he hasn't died so far, has he? In other news, they just wrapped 55 days of consecutive filming, the longest filming for a battle scene in Game of Thrones to date. Here is a thank you note that is so sweet and exciting. So more epic battle scenes this final season. I am so very thankful the amount of effort they put in the show to have off-the-wall battle scenes. Fans bitch a lot, but come on, those battle scenes are a thing of beauty and have so much love and work put into them. Moving on, Gendry's actor apparently is in a fair bit of the final season, but he wants to note that doesn't mean that he makes it to the end, especially since they don't film in chronological order. He also revealed that D&D told him at the end of season 3 that his character would return to the show. So the showrunners had always planned on Gendry playing a role in the final season. Gendry's actor talked about the final season as well, saying, I'm sure David and Dan don't pay too much attention to people's theories and speculation there is all over the internet. But it would be a bit of an anticlimactic if a well-popular theory turned out to be the way it ended. There's many pitfalls, and I think they really have achieved that with this. An ending I don't think many people will be expecting, and I think, on reflection, people will really, really enjoy. Apparently Joe hasn't spent a lot of time on the internet with Game of Thrones fans. Much like Star Wars fans, they're never happy. He also appears to favor 6 episodes over 10, saying, "I think it's a really bold move of David and Dan to announce season 7 and 8 were going to be truncated. I think as an audience of TV shows in recent years, we're actually used to shows being the opposite and really padding something out and milking it for all it's worth. Although I completely understand fans are disappointed that there isn't going to be as many episodes, I think it should actually be reassuring that you have 2 showrunners that have decided this is the amount of story we have left to tell. You can either tell it really well in a really exciting way over 6 episodes, or if you really wanted, we could pad it out over 10 and it wouldn't be anywhere near as good. So I think quality trumps quantity, and I hope that's what ends up being the case." Also, the final 2 seasons definitely weren't shortened because David and Dan said they wanted to move on to other shit. That's not the reason at all, and they would never have done that, so they could get the fuck out of there. I think they could do 10 episodes and still have the same quality, but I feel like it's just the actors not wanting to criticize the showrunners, so it is what it is. In other news, Dragonpit filming begins April 23rd and goes to May 19th. It is being confirmed it is in fact the Dragonpit set being built again, and no extras have been called for the scene or scenes. So it involves those already cast and appears to be a really big scene. The filming is also taking 3 extra weeks more than the first Dragonpit scene took to film. Still crossing my fingers for the Night King and Cersei to meet and make a deal, though I don't think he really needs to make a deal with her. And oh boy, 3 new anti-dragon weapons are hanging out on top of the King's Landing set and went through testing for use for filming. I think some dragons are going to get hurt this season. Let's hope it's Viserion, with the Night King on top of him. On a fun note, to me, we got a look at the level of secrecy for the final season, and it's being reported that it's nothing like we've seen before or anything in TV history. An example given is during filming, even if you're working closely with the crew, you have to securely cover your camera lens on your phone with a tamper-proof security seal. Alright, so I did this thing in a previous news video where I did a wild prediction round where I based predictions that are, I don't know, wild based on the news in this video. A lot of people loved it. A lot of people joined in with their own wild predictions. And then of course there was that percentage of people that got really fucking butthurt and acted like delicate little muffins about it. So I just can't resist. All right, let's begin.
Wild speculation round.
Sansa willingly allows Jon to plunge his sword into her heart to create Lightbringer, and that's the flaming sword. The Night King turns Cersei into his undead bitch, and the Dragon Pit scene. In the scene where Jaime and Brienne fight together, they also share a kiss. The actors keep talking about how great the 6 episodes are and how they're not rushed at all because they are in fact rushed, and it's terrible, but D&D have guns to their heads. George is in fact dead and haunting us beyond the grave, to torment us more. The anti-dragon weapons are much better than before, but Dany has finally gotten her head out of her ass and put some fucking armor on her dragons. You know, her children that she loves so much. Tormund fucks a bear this season. The reason Gendry is in the final season so much is because he makes it to the end and is given control of the Stormlands by Dany and/or Jon, who now rules the realm. Sansa marries Gendry to unite the North with the Stormlands, but also Tyrion to unite the Westerlands, which Tyrion now has control over. They engage in group orgies every Friday, and Tyrion is never the bottom bitch. The Mountains actor recently called the final season epic because Clegane Bowl is finally happening. I love wild speculation round. Lastly, in George, either you're on crack again or just being an ass news, he released this post with hands holding up various amounts of fingers. Best bet so far is it's an indication of the roller coaster ride of how many Game of Thrones spin-offs have been considered, going up and down in the number as things have been submitted or rewritten. Or George is just an asshole. I honestly don't care at this point. Oh, and supposedly George said that Lady Stoneheart plays a huge role in The Winds of Winter, and he has written quite a bit for her. George also claimed,
I work every day, like jumping between 6 different projects. Of course, the most important, most difficult, most ambitious, and the one that's taking the longest is the Winds of Winter. And we all laughed hysterically. So what is your favorite brand of vodka? Let me know in the comment section down below. Oh, and like and subscribe.